Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and in tonight's movie review, this is going to be a movie review on this new movie which just came out today, and it's also my very first 2025 movie release that I just got back from seeing in theaters this year for 2025. Yeah, and I also went and saw this movie with my dad and Uncle Charles, and my dad's also a big fan of Gerard Butler, who's in this movie. And it's also a sequel to a movie released in early 2018. And this review is on Den of Thieves 2. Den of Thieves 2 is the sequel to the 2018 heist film of the same name, Den of Thieves, which I remember seeing in theaters back in early 2018 with my dad. And so, in this movie, Big Nick gets embroiled in the treacherous and unpredictable world of diamond thieves as he pursues career criminal Donnie Wilson to Europe, and of course throughout most of the movie, it's pretty much like almost like another heist film with stealing a diamond. That's kind of almost similar to the first Den of Thieves, and Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr. are back once again together. And of course there's a lot of action sequences in every 15 minutes or so. But yeah. So that's all you need to hear about the story behind the sequel to Den of Thieves. So as for my thoughts on the first Den of Thieves movie, I actually just rewatched it on Max recently to prepare myself for the sequel. And the first Den of Thieves I thought was pretty good. I mean, like I said, I remember seeing it in theaters back in early January 2018 with my dad. And I forgot the first movie was over 2.5 hours, so I actually rewatched the first Den of Thieves before seeing this. And it's a good movie from 2018, even though I've seen some even better films that came out that year. I mean, don't get me wrong, the first Den of Thieves I still kind of liked. It's pretty good. I would rate the first movie 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, even by today's standards nowadays, but yeah. And then when I heard that there was, and then when I saw a trailer for a sequel to Den of Thieves, it had me very interested. Since, like I said, my dad's a big fan of Gerard Butler. He's one of his all time favorite actors, and I like Gerard. I also like Gerard Butler in some of his previous films that he was recently in this decade so far. Like 2 years ago, me and Dad and Uncle Charles saw that one movie he was in called Plane, which was really good. I really enjoyed Plane. And of course, 5 years ago, he was in that meteor shower survival film called Greenland, which I also liked. I also thought it was pretty good too. And as for the second Den of Thieves movie, I actually thought Den of Thieves 2, I thought was a pretty good movie. I actually like this film as much as the first. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good for the most part. And yeah, my dad and Uncle Charles really enjoyed this movie. And yeah, the action sequences I thought were pretty awesome and cool at the same time. Like lots of gun shootings and some car chases here and there for diamond heists. And of course, the performances with O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Gerard Butler, they're both awesome in the film together, and their performances are good as well. This movie's good for what it is. And yeah, and of course, and I think when it comes to the pacing to this movie, the pacing kind of almost felt similar to the first movie, even though I kind of hardly felt a thing, even though I had to use the bathroom during one scene during my screening to the film. But the runtime went by pretty quick, and yeah, like I said, I forgot the first Den of Thieves was over 2.5 hours, nearly 2 hours and 20 minutes. This one is 4 minutes longer than the first, 2 hours and 24 minutes. And for the most part, the best way I can describe Den of Thieves 2 is just a fine enough sequel to a 2018 film from STX Entertainment. And unlike the first movie, this movie's new distributor is actually from Lionsgate. Lionsgate's actually the new distributor of the sequel instead of STX Entertainment, who made the first Den of Thieves. Which I didn't really mind that at all, because there were some reasons why the film distributor had to change studios. But other than that, I thought this was a good start to seeing 2025 movies in theaters during this year 2025. Yeah, because I'm already done seeing 2024 films. Because my last two 2024 films I just saw in theaters this month are Nosferatu and Baby Girl, which I really enjoyed both those films. And as for that Robbie Williams like monkey biopic, like Better Man, I'm not really gonna see that since I'm not really that familiar with Robbie Williams, like not to be confused with Robin Williams, because and plus I don't think anybody, my friends and family, know much about Robbie Williams, other than how he performed his own cover of Beyond the Sea from Finding Nemo, and of course he voiced Dougal in the UK dub of the Magic Roundabout, otherwise known as Dougal in the United States. But I'm just gonna I'm just gonna skip Better Man and just focus on seeing 2025 films. And my next 2025 movie I will be planning on seeing is the new DreamWorks animated film Dogman, which actually comes out on the last day of January. Yeah, because you never know if you're gonna get like a good January release. And as for that Blumhouse horror movie Wolfman, I'm not really too sure about Wolfman yet, even though it is from the director of The Invisible Man, which is great. Although I still think I'm still not really too sure about Wolfman. I mean, even if it does turn out to be really good, like in The Invisible Man, then I don't know. It's just I got other things planned to do in life other than just going to the movies that like this January. There's too much going on for me this January. Not just movies, but in life terms. But that personal things that you don't really need to know about. But that aside, Den of Thieves 2, I really enjoyed. My dad and Uncle Charles really enjoyed this film. And as we were walking out of the auditorium, Uncle Charles even told me that Uncle Charles told me that the final scene, that like the second to last scene, it might make some events, it might make some elements of a possible third Den of Thieves, which I'm not going to spoil it because I'm not going to spoil what happens during the final scene. It just in case if you like the first Den of Thieves and if you want to see this film, then I'm not going to spoil things. So my Uncle Charles then thinks there's going to be a third Den of Thieves, but only time will tell, and I'm not going to spoil the final scenes. So yeah. So overall, Den of Thieves 2 I thought was a pretty good film, like I just said, and I'm going to give Den of Thieves 2 3.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah. And like I just said, if you like the first Den of Thieves movie, and if you're interested in checking out this film just to get started on seeing new movies this year in 2025, then I'd say this is a good one to start. Even if you like the first Den of Thieves, then this movie might please you at the slightest. It's good for what it is. Yeah. Because I did like the first movie, and yeah, I'm just glad that I went and saw it, and now I got all three of these tickets for me, myself, my dad, and Uncle Charles for my movie ticket collection. And it was also very nice how I actually wore one of my Cinemark sweatshirts that I got for Christmas. This movie quote sweatshirt, which is very cool. I wore it to my local Cinemark movie theater that I see movies for free at and work there too. Yeah, and of course, and I got plenty of previews too. Like the first preview they actually showed during my screening to Den of Thieves 2 was actually a Jason Statham movie called A Working Man. My Uncle Charles just watched the trailer 3 times already, and he's really looking forward to it because my Uncle Charles is actually a really big fan of Jason Statham. Yeah, and it did say it was from the director of Suicide Squad and The Beekeeper, which The Beekeeper I thought wasn't that bad in my opinion. And yeah, my Uncle Charles is definitely looking forward to seeing A Working Man because it's kind of almost like Jason Statham as a construction worker and taking down bad guys, like almost like the opposite of the beekeeper, like how he works as a beekeeper and hunts down these bad guys. And yeah, I bet A Working Man might do the similar thing, but except with Jason Statham as a construction worker of some sort. But that all aside, Den of Thieves 2 was good, and yeah, it's probably a good one-time watch if you're interested in checking it out. So there you have it. Alright, guys, so that's going to be it for my movie review on Den of Thieves 2. And that's going to be it for this video, so make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying, goodbye everybody, and that's about it.